Welcome back, everybody. I just haven't had enough coffee this morning. I don't know, but let's get back to this Filemaker series on this deal. And last time, just a few minutes ago or a few moments ago, so I kind of got very frustrated. But this is the problem: is I was trying to, what I was trying to do was I was trying to activate a script, and I was trying to debug it. And the problem was I wasn't giving the script any data. I wasn't. It is contingent. The script is contingent on the fact that I press a button. So let us do that. Okay. So here we are. We're back on this exact same thing, and we're not even going to mess with it. Let's press the soda pop button. No records match the criteria. So if we go to invoice, we now see that it is there, and all of the data is here as to what we want. So the cost of the soda pop was $2.35. So if we go back, we notice that our invoice number is still 2 bazillion and 1, and we press another soda pop, it still says no records match the find criteria. And we'll just continue, and we'll go back to the invoice and see now where it's exactly the same thing as the soda pop still on there, but it's not doing anything. So let's do this. We are going to go back to the menu, and it's creating a new record every single time, in case you didn't notice that. And it shouldn't be creating a new record every single time that it is doing that. But let's do, we will edit the layout, manage scripts. And so now if we debug it and we press this button, and we F6, F6, F6. It's going to set the variable, and it did 102. See what it did? So that was the step I was missing, is I forgot I have to press the button. We'll do F6 again. We're just kind of going through. So if the quantity is empty, and this one we don't even have the quantity window in. Now it's going to enter into the find mode, product ID, and it should have set that field as 102, and now it's going to perform the find. And so now we have all of the records, right? And so now what it's going to do is it's going to set all of our variables. And it's going to set our locations. What we're doing is it's collecting all of the data that we need to actually put it onto an invoice. And so now what we're looking for is if invoice is not equal to the invoice lock, and the invoice lock should have been 2002, then it would enter the find mode. It would set the field as the invoice lock, which it didn't, because somewhere along the way we lost our variable lock. And that's the reason why, is because we get down here to the invoice ID. And remember, the invoice ID is incorrect, right? So we have to make changes to, and that was one of the fields that I knew was going to kind of be messed up. So we're just going to go ahead and cancel this. We'll cancel it. And now we know that down here in the bottom, where it says set field invoice, invoice ID, that's incorrect. We need it to be set field under the register invoice ID. And now it should work without creating a new record every single time. Let's hope. So let's click here, click Control S, and we'll close this out. And we need to edit layout. Go back to our menu 1. Undo it. And now we're on 2002. See, there we're on the 2 and with the ending 2. So now if we press this button, well, let's debug it. Let's do it in the correct sense. So let's do that. Press the soda pop button. Now we're here where it says perform script, and we press F6. It will begin to go through all the stuff that we need to get done, right? So F6. And we're going to follow it. We're going to go all the way through it. And we saw the little number come up, right? So we know what happened. And now it's going to search for product 102, and it found it. It's going to start setting variables. And now it's going to commit those records because we changed it. So location 1 is 46. And now it moved to our invoice. And it's going to say if, go to invoice, register 1, if invoice ID is not equal to the lock, then it'll enter the find mode, and it'll set it at the lock. It'll perform the find. It'll end the if. It'll create a new record, which is not what we wanted to do, is it? We did not want to create a new record. So that part of the deal is needs to be fixed. So we're just going to stop it right there. And if you guys remember correctly, that was one of the things that we were looking at. We're like, should we do this? No, we shouldn't do that. So we need to delete the record request portal. James, I hope you're back. Maybe not. So now, and we've got a couple of records, so we're okay with that. We don't really have to worry too much about it. But now we have to edit the layout. We have to go all the way back to menu 1. And we need to exit the layout. And we need to bring up our debug. Save it. Okay. And now if we press this button, it'll say, now do you want us to perform the script? Well, yeah, we want you to perform the script. So F6, F6, F6. Now notice the number popped up right there, right at the top. And then we're going to set the variables. And we're going to work our way through the system. And because we didn't have the value, it's just going to set it at 1 because we didn't put that box in, right? And so it's going to go to our inventory admin, which now it doesn't have to be inventory admin. We can go back to the old inventory, which is the one in the background, which no one sees anyway. And so we'll be just great there. And then we're going to start setting fields. And we're going to commit our records. Notice now we are at 45. So it is removing numbers from this every time. Every time we do this, it's messing around with those numbers. And so now here we are on a new record 2004, but that's not what we want, is it? So we're in the wrong place. So now it's going to be like, is it the same one? No. So it's going to enter the find mode. It's going to put our number in right down here. That's the old invoice number. And it's going to bring up that invoice number. And then it's going to enter in, go to the portal row, which is right there. Like I said, there's always a new one, and it's going to start putting in all of the information that we wanted to put in. And it's going to commit those records. Then we're going to go back to the original layout, and it will halt the script. So now it works perfectly every single time. So now we will close this, and we will close this, and let's add a jawbreaker, and another jawbreaker, and let's go to our invoice. And here now we have the 2 soda pops and the 2 jawbreakers, and the total amount is $15.17. Now this one is kind of odd because this is, we haven't yet labeled this yet, but this is the amount that you give back to them. So this is how much they paid. So if they give you 20 bucks, then you would give them $4.83 back. And we can change that to where this is not visible or doesn't populate automatically. But right now it doesn't really hurt that it does populate automatically. And I think we're just fine with that. So we will put up labels for every single one of these so we know what they are. But this is basically our subtotal. And then this is the tax. So this is without tax. This is with tax. So tax is basically 37 cents in tax. And it's 15.17 all together. How's that possible? Subtotal, state tax. Why is the state tax? Let's see. We need to click on the state tax. We need to find out what the state tax is. So here's an issue that we have right here. So this is the subtotal times 1.05. So we're timesing it. We're actually creating the amount with the tax on it. And that's not necessarily what we want. So what we want to do is just delete this part. Call it good. Call it good. Call it good. Now if we exit the layout. Now it's 740, 37 cents tax. This one, I don't remember what that one was. So this is a no tax item. So let's just do this. Let's put subtotal and then I'm just gonna drag and drop it. And this one is going to be tax. I'm just going to hold on the button and I'm just going to drag and drop this one. Non-tax. And these are just little, you know, once you get used to where all this stuff is at, it's no big deal. So total sale. Tendered. And change due. So now what we can do is we can highlight all of these and we are going to select a position. So we will line them all up on their left edges, leftmost edges. And I'm just going to use my little button here to move them over so they're out of the way. And so now if we exit the layout, we kind of have this little thing that tells us what what it is or where we're at. James, I hope you're back, because I figured out what it was. So you have to go back to the beginning of the video that I just made and be like, Tim, what are you doing? Because, yeah, I just lost my brain cell. And now, the reason why I wanted to get this done right away is because after the fact, we will do the cash sale button, because that's going to actually throw everything onto a reporting thing. And we will also do this button. And this button is a big deal. So I want to click this button. Come on. What's it doing? Okay. So this button, I want it to perform a script. And we're going to have to, this is going to have to be a new script. And this one is going to be return to stock. Okay. Ooh, you know what I should do? No, I think return to stock is just fine. Let's not confuse the heck out of it, right? But if you guys are interested in doing it a different way, what we can do is, like, let's say someone got 3 of them and they're like, oh, you know, I just want to, can I return like 2 of them and just keep 1? We could actually create a window that does that. But for right now, what it does is it'll erase everything that's in the portal row. And then so you'll just have to go back to your menu page, and you'll just have to, if they say they want 2 of them, then you'll have to put 2 of them on instead of 3 of them, but you'll get rid of the 3 of them. It'll put it back in stock. Simple, easy, painless, although it is a little bit. It does actually require a little bit. So first thing that we want to do is we want to freeze the window. I'm big on freezing the windows. And then we want to do what do I want to do? What do I want to do? Let's go to if. So if is empty. And that's what this is for, is just to make sure that we're not overdoing it, right? So if is empty, and this is going to be the invoice quantity one. And then we will show custom dialog. So the reason why the last one didn't work is, if you're just now joining me, the reason why in the last video why it wasn't working is because I've forgot the one main thing is you actually have to push the button, because the button is part of the script process. And without the field being filled in by the button, that's where we messed up. So James, you were absolutely correct. When you're clicking debug, does it run the script parameter? No, it does not run the script parameter like pushing the button. I'm sorry, I just didn't have enough coffee. I'm just a little hyper this morning. I don't know, but James, you absolutely had it correct. So thank you very much for turning that on. So invalid data. Modifications cannot be made to this item as it has already been removed from this invoice. We can't do cancel because cancel doesn't matter, so we'll call it good. And then halt script. Oop. And we will halt the script. Now what we do is, and we called this return to stock. Okay. So now what we need to do is we need to set some variables, and the only variable that we really need is the product ID, right? So that we can return it. So we're going to set variable, and we'll call it product ID because it's pretty much the best way to do it. And it is under invoice, and it's product ID. Okay. Now that we've set the variable, now we can go back to our inventory and we can put it back into the inventory. But we need to know how many as well, right? So let's set another variable. Set a variable. Sale amount. And it is going to be the invoice quantity. Okay. Now we can leave the page, or we can get rid of the stuff that we want, whatever the case is. So now what we can do is we can set our quantity to 0 or nothing and see what that does, right? So let's set a field, because we already have it set in our deal. So we're going to set a field. We're going to specify the field as the invoice quantity, and we're going to specify that as 0. Now we can go to our layout. So we'll just go to our layout. And this layout is going to be the inventory layout. And we are going to enter find mode. And we'll set a field. And that field will be product ID. And we will do this product ID. Okay. And now we will perform the find. Perform find. Now we need to set a field. And this field is going to be under the inventory, our location 1, because that's where we took it out of. Everything we're doing so far is we're taking it out of. So under this, we can do this number plus. So we can basically say sale amount, let's go back, plus location 1. And then, so now it's put it back into the inventory. So now what you'd need to do is you just need to return to the same old. So you just need to go to the original layout. And we froze the window, so they're not even going to know. And halt script. Now you can put, if you want to, you can come here and you can be like show, and we'll show some custom dialogue, and we'll move it up above the halt script, and we'll say inventory modified, product has been returned to base inventory. whatever you want it to say is fine. And you can't, there's no cancel, doesn't need to cancel, so we'll call that good. So now if we call that good, we can Control S to save it. That it should be just fine. Now if we exit the layout, and let's see what happens if we push one of these. Do you guys remember what our inventory was on the pop star? Let's double check what our pop star level was. So sort records. Show all records. That would probably be a good idea. Is after you're doing this, if you do this on this particular thing, so on our soda pop it was 45. So I got 45 on the soda pops, or the soda pop stars. Let's go back to our invoice. 45. So now if we get rid of this one, what did it do? Why did it pause? Inventory has been modified. Why did it pause? Because we forgot to take that off of the script, right? Edit, manage, scripts. And it was the return to stock. So we set variable, went to enter find mode. We forgot to take the pause off. Control S. So we don't like the pause. We don't want the pause. Exit. Okay. 45, 46, 47. So see how it erased just the stuff in the portal row. That's all it took out, was just the stuff that was in the portal row. So now if we go to our inventory admin and we show all of our records, there they are at 47. So it put it back into the inventory that we took it out of. So now that button works, all that other stuff works. We should be good. That was kind of a big deal. I wanted you guys to see that. Now you will have to, when you get back into your menu or your invoice thing, you still have a couple of records here. So if you go, this is 2001. Let's see, 222. Oh, I'm sorry. It won't let me do it until I'm changing it. So you do have quite a few records. Or those are not records. That's my invoice. Exit layout. So you do have quite a few records in this. I don't know why it's not letting me show these records. Show all. Probably why. Because it's not letting me show them all. Which is good, because when you enter find mode, it kind of puts a kibosh on it and it kind of stops it. But what we will do is in the cash sale button, when we do the cash sale, the credit sale, the split pay, or the dismiss, any of that stuff, we will reset a new invoice number under that button. And then, so that way when you go to, because right now it doesn't matter. No matter what you do, you are locked. I could sit here all day long and continue to push buttons, and forever and ever amen, it's going to constantly be putting data on 2 bazillion and 2. Okay, so but now you guys know how to fix this, or how to do this, how to put stuff on the inventory, how to take stuff off the inventory, and see how it changed it. It just changed it. And the change due button, I will eventually show you guys how to do that. Right now it's not a big deal. We don't really care, because it is keeping track of your data. It is keeping track of your sales for you. So until next time, guys, hey, I really appreciate you watching me. Thanks, James Buck. I appreciate you very much, and we will see you guys next week. So until then, we will have a great day. Enjoy a little script writing. I know I do, unless it frustrates me half to death. All right, guys. See you later.